What's up? I'm gonna be reacting to Dragon Age the Veilguard. 22 minutes of gameplay with BioWare themselves. I'm gonna give this game another chance, even though I don't think it deserves it. Still, you gotta give them some chances now and then. As you may have noticed, I have also moved my camera because this feels better. Yes, so you can see my living room behind me if you really want to do so. But let's just go over like this and punch it, chewy. Like so. I jam first.
What's up, everybody? I'm Kat Bailey, and this is our extended look at Dragon Age the Veilguard's gameplay. I'm here with BioWare lead developers Corinne Bush and John Epler. Corinne, what are we looking at today?
Hey y'all, so today we're going to be helping out one of our companions, Davrin. This is part of his personal
This seems like
arc
Stronghold.
to rescue the griffins
Some guy?
long thought extinct. We're going to take a quick journey through the Lighthouse.
The first thing I gotta say is that it looks somewhat muddy. It looks like the colors blend together. It might be just the footage itself. If I switch on and on, like
Your
so.
base of operations.
Maybe this
We're
looks
gonna
better,
head
yeah,
to the
a bit.
crossroads and make our way to
Some
the
sort of
dark swamp
luminous
of Prosper
effect
Lands.
to it.
So you're in the Lighthouse, as Corinne mentioned. This is your base of operations that you inherited willingly or unwillingly from Solus.
Okay, now this looks
It is
great.
Located in the Fade. It's where Solus was able to start planning his rebellion against the Elven gods millennia ago. Right now, you and your
Okay.
team have occupied it, started to build it, started to shape itself around your personality. As Corinne mentioned, we are going to go talk to Davrin, who is located up above. And each of these spaces kind of shapes itself around your companions as they live there, as they basically spend their arcs in those rooms.
And we see here
That's not
the
too
glowing
bad.
light
That's a good
above
idea.
indicates Davrin's ready for us. Let's check in with him.
Something wrong? Got a message. Place called the Cauldron was attacked.
That's some sort of grey warden.
What the fuck? Dude! I'm almost dying here. What the fuck is that? Yeah, am I the only one? This just looks bad. What the what happened, man?
Warden Tavern.
It's a secret Warden readout. No idea what goes on there.
Then why are you involved?
Because whatever attacked it sounds like the Gloomhowler.
So earlier in Davrin's arc, you were introduced to his.
What's up with that head? Come on.
And stalking
It's just
him for
humorous.
quite some time. It's kidnapped.
They did
a
it on
bunch of other
purpose,
griffins.
right?
Davrin has been trying to track it down. Now he's got a lead, so we're going to go find this and go track this thing down.
Now, Davrin, he prefers the direct approach. We're going to choose a tough response and see if we can get his approval.
Then let's get rid of it.
Well done.
Had the same thought. What's left of the Wardens are still licking their wounds. So we handle this alone. Just go to the Cauldron and get the Griffins back. You have to promise to behave, boy. Listen to every word I say, stay out of trouble, don't do anything dumb, and don't eat any.
I think we get the point.
Dude.
Lancet and Remy told me there's a word for the bond between a Griffin and Warden moving as one. Turlum. Until Hassan and I have that, I'm supposed to keep him safe.
I have to say that I find the Griffin adorable.
And very importantly, I know this is a question on everyone's mind. Yes, you can pet a song.
Well, thank
Well,
goodness for that.
glad
And, all right,
that's out of the way.
He's up.
The most important
Right,
thing.
we're gonna finish
Petting the
witnessing
fucking
the
griffin.
from Davrin on the Gloomhowler, and we'll be off to Hossberg and the Crossroads.
Between Warden and Griffin starts by having faith in each other.
Maybe. I suppose
Rook is straight out of Fortnite. In fact, Fortnite even looks better. What the f...
And a sharp tongue to remind
Jesus
you of
Christ.
As long as he backs it up.
So I assume that a song can be helpful during the gameplay.
Oh, absolutely. In fact,
What I also don't really like is that they're just very stationary when they're talking to each other. I know they kind of were back in the day too, but in the Inquisition it was actually sort of dynamic-ish. Kinda missed that one.
In fact, a lot of Davrin's abilities revolve around calling a Son in the heat of battle. I in particularly love when you're going against enemies, you see a Son swoop down, especially if it triggers a combo between your companions.
I really like the look of this, but it's very...
Done is if you see the lights on in a room, companions have something.
If I would just see this...
Out in that space there.
If I would just see this location, I wouldn't think it was Dragon Age. If I saw nothing but this location, I would not think it was Dragon Age.
Nev behind you.
And I think they kinda missed the mark on that, the art direction.
If we can, and we're going to go through
But
the
we'll see.
crossroads in order to do that. And the crossroads, if you've played previous Dragon Age games, Trespasser in particular, is a location in the Fade that contains a number of alluvions, allowing you to travel across Thedas in a matter of minutes. But
The walking or sprinting animation is strange.
it's a dangerous place, and we are going to be in for a bit of a fight.
And this alluvion, the Vera Voss, is the central focus point of the Lighthouse. This is going to take us to Solus's pocket area of the crossroads, and it might look a little bit different from what you've seen in Trespasser.
Can you tell us a little bit about the role that the crossroads plays in the structure and the gameplay?
Yeah, so the crossroads is, again, it's the area that you spend a lot of time traveling through as you go from...
Also, it's a mage, I'm assuming, with the staff.
Has, at one point, served as Solus's main base of operations and training ground for his rebellion against the Elven gods. So as you go through it, you're going to find fragments of the past, things that Solus had done previously that are going to give you a bit of insight into Solus as a character, but also into the
Like a
Elven gods
song
and their
in Warden.
motivations.
Some of my favorite content that you'll find if you go exploring in the crossroads is these opportunities to actually relive some of the memories Solus had.
That was kinda cool.
Rebellion. You actually
Ooh.
get to take part in this ancient rebellion.
And here we have the Caretaker, a mysterious spirit that was actually here before Solus was and started to help Solus
Obviously inspired by...
into a safe haven for
What's
spirits.
his name?
Again, as I
Car
mentioned before,
Caron?
the gods are assaulting the crossroads, so it's no longer the
Lame that you don't get to see
We're
the
going to work with this Caretaker through quite a large amount
main
of
character
ancillary content to rebuild
go
this
from the
safe
boat. It's just a...
for these creatures. And
They
if
just
anyone
cut
knows
it.
Solus, he has a tremendous amount of affection for spirits.
All right, now we're gonna get into combat here, and this time we're playing as a mage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mage is
Blink.
one of my favorite classes to play. It's primarily a ranged attacker, and when we're surrounded by swarming Darkspawn,
Oh, I
I
hate
have to use
this.
a variety of strategies to control the battlefield.
I hate
I'm gonna
this.
use my heavy charged attacks to knock down these ghouls, get them out of the way, and of course, Darkspawn are vulnerable to fire. So we made sure to...
Oh, I hate this. This is just so bare bones. Like, oh, vulnerable to fire. Nice. But it just says it right there. I'm hoping that you need to find out that certain Darkspawn may be resistant to fire. That not all of them is vulnerable to fire.
equip our
Something
fire
like that.
staff, have our fire...
And also the all combo opportunities.
You may notice something about
Also, sorry for pausing so much, but I noticed the combat is so floaty, and this is supposed to be a mage. I can accept the blink with a cooldown maybe, but the blink, all the dodge rolls, and he's moving like a rogue. What the fuck?
Darkspawn too.
The frick?
Look a little bit different than they have previously, and part of that is because Gillinane, who has always been focused on using the Blight as a
So fast.
crafting material, a way to alter life itself, has been enhancing and changing these Darkspawn as part of her army.
Corinne, I noticed that you were doing a combo opportunity. Can you tell us a little bit more about how the role that plays in the actual combat?
Yes, so the combat system in this game, the deep strategy behind it is really to
The deep
manage the
strategy
flexibility
behind it.
companions and Rook have in
Okay,
concert.
dude.
So in this case, Harding has a combo opportunity with Shred. It's going to apply the sundered effect and deal a high amount of stagger. Now you'll notice I can combo that with Rook's ability Spirit Bomb. That's going to cause a detonation combo.
So, again, one of the things you'll notice about the terrain here is it's very snowy, very mountainous.
I mean, that's cool. It's really cool and all, but still.
The cross.
Why not let us control our
the
companions?
waking world.
What
In
happened?
this case, it's an amalgamation of all the real world spaces that are tied to it. In the case, we've got Hosberg, we've got other mountainous regions. So it's kind of this mix of the swamp. And as you'll see, as we move towards these alluvions, the architecture around them very clearly reflects what's on the other side. We're not going to spoiler and tell you exactly what's on the other side, but you maybe make a few guesses based on what you're seeing.
Do I have to do the crossroads, or can I just fast travel right through?
So it depends how you progress through the game. The first time you go to any of the new regions in the world, you'll traverse the crossroads to get there. Subsequent times, we of course support fast travel, but it behooves you to actually go back and explore the crossroads as some of the deepest secrets lie within.
So now you're in Hosberg wetlands. It's an
That's really
area that has been
fun.
almost completely consumed by the blight. The Grey Wardens have set up an outpost here. Again, if you know anything about the Grey
Okay.
Wardens, they fight the blight anywhere they see it, and they're noticing something strange.
It's way too happy, uppity. There's no like urgency. There's no grim. It's no grim fate or something like that. It's just, yeah, they're standing around chatting a bit, and yeah, what else? Grey Wardens are supposed to be fighting the blight whenever they can, whenever they need to, and they're just.
Changes going on.
I
The
don't.
blight is not behaving as they expect.
It doesn't
to,
feel
as
urgent
it
in any
historically
way.
has. So they
It doesn't feel like they're.
place.
It doesn't feel like they're overcome by Darkspawn forces in any way. It doesn't feel real.
And you are
It doesn't
here to
suspend my
work with them,
disbelief.
help them out, and help them find an answer to the questions about the blight that they're asking.
Tell me a little bit more about this area. It looks a little bit like a hub where you can get a lot of quests and things like that.
That's right. So here we find one of the bases of the Grey Wardens. So you'll see they've really built up a small fighting force here to hold off the Darkspawn. What's more, the Grey Wardens are a faction we're going to be working with throughout the game. We've got
Oh, nice.
one of the Grey Warden quartermasters. We're actually going to upgrade his shop and see what items he has in store for us, see if maybe it gives us an
What? Oh no. Oh no.
edge in combat.
Oh no.
And the Grey Wardens, much like the other factions, they understand the stakes of the gods being out. They want to help you, but you need to help them first. They have, again, as Kryn mentioned, they're holding off the Darkspawn here. They have other priorities, so getting them more powerful allows them to more meaningfully contribute to your fight against the Elven gods.
So where are we going next?
All right, so we're heading out of the Grey Warden Fortress into the small town of Lavendel. Now, this used to be a beautiful place full of life, flowers, and you can see what effect the blight has had. But the residents
Yeah.
are still here. They're trying to make the most of their lives, and you can see there's plenty of opportunities to help them. In fact, we're going to quickly check in with Finn the physician and see what he has in store for us.
So Flynn, again, one of the focuses of this game is characters, not causes.
I've been busy with patients, but I'm short on medical supplies. My mentor, Oscar, he should have some. He has a cabin outside the village. If you're out there, tell him you saw Flynn, and they could use his help.
And
There's nothing wrong, I will say, about the voice actors.
we wanted to make sure that the side content of
They're all
Dragon
fine.
Veilguard felt as meaningful and tied to the overall conflict of the game as anything else you do. We don't want you to just go off and do random tasks. Everything needs to feel meaningful, either contributing to your fight against the gods or contributing to the growth of your companions. And
I'm gonna press X to doubt that. I doubt that everything you do, quests, etc., the ones you help, contribute to the end goal in some meaningful way. Except maybe give you an item. Or unlock a vendor or something. I don't think they will contribute in a real, palpable way. In fact, that's one of the many criticisms I have in Inquisition, that despite all the things, the choices you could make with the companions and the missions on the planning board while you plan the missions, etc. And you can send out scouts and other forces. They impacted your story a bit, but not in a meaningful way in the end. In the end, it was merely mostly stats and stuff like that.
And the factions that you have at your side to stop the gods.
You look a bit worried.
We're not sure where some of our wardens are. Beckett and a few others. We're supposed to check in. We need to look out for each other more than ever. It's just... I know they took Weishaupt hard, and I hope they're okay.
All right, so we picked up a couple of quests in Lavendel, but we're here to help Davrin. So we're gonna make our way through the perils of Hosberg and try to get to this wooden fortress of the Cauldron.
Seeing a lot of kind of organic matter. I suppose that's the blight.
Absolutely. So the blight at this point, as mentioned before, the wardens understand it's changed. It's become a lot more organic, a lot more alive. You know, back in Dragon Age 2, Inquisition, Origins, the blight, while it was a slow-moving wall, it didn't have this almost sentience, this almost thought behind it. And obviously we've talked about how the gods that are out are blighted. That probably has something to do with it, and it's made this area far more dangerous than it would have been before.
I can see that.
Notice as we get into combat with some of these Darkspawn that they do look a little bit different than before, and that's very intentional. Gillenane,
Vulnerable to
the god of
fire.
monsters, she uses blight like a medium to sculpt and warp the Darkspawn to do her
Oh, the same combo again.
her purposes.
So right now you'll see a couple of Hurlocks, one with some pretty disgusting...
Maybe that's the best combo.
Again, the idea that the Darkspawn and the Blight is an organic weapon. They're not just coming out...
Was that the ultimate?
Making swords, making armor. They're using the Blight to augment themselves so they can more
Kinda lame.
effectively defeat you and also give the gods the world that they desire.
All right, now I'm actually going to switch to my Orb and Dagger on the Mage, and those of you that were fans of the Knight in
nice.
Dragon Age Inquisition, you might feel right at home with this. This is a more melee-focused, more agile version of the Mage. One of the main mechanics here is you can use this elemental orb.
Who's playing this game? Come on.
Of
Bro.
Damage to the enemy, and then unleash them with your dagger to detonate them.
This guy's gonna die.
So, again, we're in, you'll notice that there are Blight pools. The Darkspawn aren't just coming out of nowhere. The Blight is spawning them. Again, part of Gillenane's attempt to turn this into an army for the gods is to use these Darkspawn, not just, again, whereas you have the Venatori and the Anton.
Bro!
One case representing magical power, and the other case representing physical strength. The Darkspawn are representing overwhelming force.
That was a pretty clutch heal a little earlier, by the way.
You know, we've talked at length before that our fans have asked us, where is the healing magic? Can you bring it back? And Nev in this game, happy to oblige.
What a bad decision. What a bad decision.
So one of the interesting things that I love about our companions is each of them, their abilities, the way that they're built, they're very thematically appropriate to the character. They're very focused on making sure that the gameplay and the narrative are as closely aligned as possible. In the case of Nev versus Blar versus Amrik, our mages, each of them has
what the fuck?
an ability that is thematically appropriate to them. It makes sense when you know them as a character.
Watching you play, I'm struck by sort of the size and the scope of this particular area. It seems like there's a lot of exploration that I can be doing right here.
That was really one of our goals with these areas. Of course, we are a mission-based game, but we really emphasize player autonomy. You can revisit these spaces. They're full of secrets, puzzles, some pretty incredible bosses and treasure. And of course, as we saw earlier in Lavendel, some really narratively rich side quests.
What?
One thing that's interesting is you'll find we're going on a quest for Davrin, but Davrin is not currently in our party. That's because Davrin has gone ahead of us and is waiting for us at the Cauldron. This is, again, we want the followers, the companions, to feel like they have autonomy, and while they won't complete the quest on their own, they will go ahead and get things ready. So when you get...
If that's the case, why are there so many Darkspawn and enemies in the way. Like, that doesn't make sense, right? Am I the only one that's thinking about this? What? Hold on, freaking camera spasses out. Let's just brighten it a bit. Slowly getting dark outside, so.
Get there, you can have you talk to them, you have a conversation with them, and it feels like they're as invested in the success of their journey, their stories, as you are.
This looks like a pretty contiguous zone, is that right?
It is, yes. So it's full of branching paths, different areas to explore. And what I love is the more content you do in the area, the more shortcuts you're going to discover. You're really going to have a lot more flexibility in how you navigate between your remaining missions and quests.
Well, I think something really interesting too about the way that our team has built these spaces is there's the idea of each space has its own story to tell. And while those quests, you know, we talked earlier about those quests and side quests being narratively relevant, they also contribute to a more of a meta story about the space itself. So in the case of Hosberg, we talked about how they're surrounded by blight, and you're kind of getting to the center of what exactly is going on in Hosberg and Lavendel, and these quests that you do and the content Corinne is currently engaged in helps to tell that story.
Okay, so this game has become dodging at the right time. I see.
All
right.
You can see our companions are up here attacking this Darkspawn on their own.
Why help them?
Quick hand.
You can kill it eventually. Just leave them, they can't die. Come on.
All right, and I love positional gameplay, making use of the environment to your advantage.
I just saw
how
you do a takedown move, so it's kind of a finishing move.
You can. Now, in this particular build, I'm really focused on using necromantic energies to siphon life force. But if I, for instance, wanted to go the stagger route, I could go a full takedown build if I like. It's a really powerful, heavy-hitting style of gameplay.
All right, so you'll notice Davern is waiting for us. So let's go see what he has to
He's just standing there.
The sun flies in.
While enemies are in his...
Bad day at the Cauldron.
What could do that?
What have they been hiding inside?
So something tore through the gate. That's probably not great. Looks like we should probably get moving.
We won't find out standing around here.
Be ready for anything.
So because we don't have Davern in our party, he's going to move ahead and wait for us while we bring Nev and Harding along to clear a path for ourselves to find Davern and get to where he is.
Can you talk a little bit about how Nev and Harding sort of synergize during the combat?
Yeah, so Nev and Harding, Nev is a mage, Harding is a rogue, and each of the classes, you can build a party entirely of one class if you want, but the idea is that the classes synergize and they can set up and detonate each other's abilities in a very interesting way. Now, because you have a lot of freedom in how you build your character, you can...
He's gonna die soon.
You can have all rogue party, all mage party, all warrior party, it still works. But in this case, Nev and Harding are very...
Okay, so there's no danger, effectively. Okay.
In this case, as Corinne's going to show.
So we're in danger here, and this is really what I love about the tactical layer of combat. If you get in that clutch situation where you've got this devastating incoming attack, great time to pause gameplay, weigh your options, and in this case, I'm going to go back to our combo here and see if I can just quickly get out of the way. All right.
I mean, it's a cool combo, but what
You
else?
see, I've applied siphoning to these enemies, so I'm actually going to be leeching their health when I use my mage beam. Now you'll notice there's blight boils throughout the area, and that's...
What the f... Look at this attack. Look at the distance between these two, okay? Look at him attacking.
Now you'll notice there's blight boils throughout the area. And
This might be worse than Lord of the Fallen. Holy moly.
Destroy these blight boils, ghouls are going to continue to emerge. So I'm really focused on what targets do I take down first. This enemy is a little bit weaker. I think I'm going to have my companions focus on them. while I deal with this grenadier that's given me some problem.
Yeah, I will say, and that's no, I'm not on the stick. Kryn is much better at this game than I am, and
You say that.
well,
Almost dies. Okay.
100%. But,
Okay, dude.
Each enemy, again, really leaning into the organic. What I love about the grenadiers is they basically rip off pieces of themselves and throw them at you, which explode as blight.
Oh, is he not dead? He has no HP.
It's organic and disgusting.
Ah,
Thing
let's
that's
heal.
interesting is
Okay.
that the combat encounters can get pretty intense. You end up fighting
Bro!
different enemies. You can
What are you
really
doing?
die if you're not careful.
Yes, and this, as we mentioned earlier,
How is he not
this
dead?
is, well into the game, so combat
What?
encounters have really ramped up, and it really shows the importance of positioning, using your companions wisely.
Mm-hmm, I can see
looking
that,
for the
definitely.
synergies and combos. Now this is interesting. We just went down. We've got
Bro!
companions to be able to come to our aid, so we're actually going to use a revive here. And Nev to the rescue.
And as Corinne mentioned,
That's one positive thing, that if you're down, it's not game over. Okay, that's great. But you know what they did in earlier games? Inquisition, for example? When you downed, got control of the other characters. What? So insane.
challenging. It's a more dangerous space. This shows up in the encounters, but it also shows up in the visuals, the storytelling here. This is a place that you don't want to be. You don't want to be in Hossberg. It is full of Darkspawn, full of blight, and generally not a pleasant place to be.
Well, we'll be able to explore more of the Cauldron when Dragon Age the Veilguard comes out on October 31st. In the meantime, we are going to be continuing on with our IGN First coverage of Dragon Age for the rest of September. And for everything that's
Laughable
games
design.
and RPGs, keep it locked on IGN.
That's it, okay. So I have some issues with this, of course, like you could hear. First of all, what the fuck is this? Okay? What is this, man? It just looks... Hold up. What is bro doing? Oh, that's why it got so dark. My camera just decided to do whatever it wanted. Okay, I see. Here we go. So first off, the design. I am hoping you can make an actual cool character somewhat, because this is just, it looks like a comedian. And I think the art direction is kind of off. It misses the marks, but ever so slightly. It's too colorful, too vibrant with colors in a bad way. Too purple everywhere. It feels like. I kind of like the level design though. There's nothing wrong with that, and I like the idea of your companions being in this realm, in this area, and you can progress with them, etc. But it feels also vapid, because as far as I can understand, you have your companions and that's it. You don't, like in Inquisition, it's the best example to take. You build up something like a fortress, a stronghold with different characters, and the more you do out in the world, it actually affects what you're able to do in the stronghold. So in Skyhold. I like this. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the level design. It's just that I don't really like the art direction. Now the combat, the first thing you can see.
All right, now we're gonna get into combat here, and this time we're playing as a mage. Now,
So much mobility for a mage. Mages are supposed to be...
And when we're surrounded by swarming Darkspawn,
I'm guessing you can make your own mages, of course. But in general, they're supposed to deal heavy damage and not be that mobile. They're supposed to be...
and of course Darkspawn.
Sorry, I'm gonna just lower this. They're supposed to be vulnerable to attacks of every kind almost, especially fast enemies. And this is just a dodge character. It's like, oh, dodge at the right time, you will never die. Also, this wheel is laughable. 3 abilities per character and some strategies up above. But what does it matter to have strategies when your companions can just never die? What's the point? What's the point of not controlling your companions in order to... I don't get it, man. And 3 abilities, come on. Maybe it's 4 with the ultimate, I'm guessing, but still. Here we see, it looks great. It's just not... It's just not Dragon Age, okay? I'm fearing that the shop ranks are affected by some sort of downloadable thingies or microtransactions. I'm fearing, well, I hope not, but I'm fearing that. And like I said, there's no believability to this world as far as I can tell. And I don't mean that in the way, oh, of course it's a fantasy game and you can make things, create things outside the realm of possibility in our world, reality. But I don't feel that ingrained in this place. It doesn't really feel believable, except it feels like you're playing out an act. Doing your part.
Very intentional.
I'm also sad because almost the only combo I saw was this one with this one. And it's just, okay, show me another one. Maybe there it doesn't exist any.
To detonate them.
So, again,
And like I said, just dodge at the right time and you're fine.
The Darkspawn aren't just
Doesn't really matter all that much, the positioning of the character. The mage is in the back or up a hill or something, and the archer is the same. And yeah.
Back to our merge. So I'm really focused.
Pretty intense. You're
Built our
Like I said, I really like that you can be revived. That's pretty much it. So I'm guessing that's pretty much it. Let's do this. And well, I'm very disappointed because I thought this was going to be a return to form or at least an expansion of the former game. But it seems to be something that they're shrinking. They're making it simplified and they're taking away strategy from it. They're taking away freedom of playing all the characters, all the companions you can have. You only have 2 companions nowadays, and like, what happened? I went through Origins more than once. I played through Inquisition more than once. And I think this will be a good game. I do. I think it will be a good game. I think it will be a bad Dragon Age. And that just sucks because I want Dragon Age in my Dragon Age games. Yep, I have nothing else to say. I don't believe in this. I won't buy this. I won't spend any of my time playing this, as I don't believe it will actually give me something of value. And I don't think I will have fun playing it. So why force it? I hope those that do have fun. So that's pretty much it. Nothing else to say. But thank you so much for watching. I want to hear your opinions down below in the comments. Subscribe for more. And well, if you're like me, like holy fuck. Yep, see ya.